Alright guys, so we're still just exploring around, found that Polaris station, so that's cool. They have, it looks like it's a mining base basically, so they have ore. You probably can go in there and buy ingots and or raw ore, whatever, things like that, if you're struggling to find it yourself, but I'm not gonna bother with that at this point. I mean, there should be enough ore deposits for us to mine what we need, right? And that's preferable to paying for it, at least in my opinion, especially since we don't have any money yet. So, with that being said, we're just kind of going around locating stuff. So, crash capital vessel, fun. I don't really care. We'll maybe come back at some point and look at it, but for now, I'm not too concerned, all things considered. Oh, I wanted to explain. So, at the end of one of our episodes, I couldn't turn the ship. So if you push the Alt key, it puts you in a view mode, so you can look around inside the cockpit. If you push it again, it actually gives you control back to the ship. So if you made the mistake like me of pushing Alt while you were playing, that is how you get back to where you can actually fly the ship normally. So yeah, just thought I'd mention that, because that was driving me crazy, and it took me basically pushing keys on the keyboard to figure it out. I thought it was maybe the pilot mode, but it didn't appear to be, so I don't know what Alt triggers, but that's what happened. Anyway, so I'm kind of just scouting around. I don't know if we're going to bore you with all the scouting and all that. Maybe if I find something cool or whatever, I'll throw it in, but I mean, basically I wanted to show off kind of how these bases, or how the small vehicle works and what you can do with it. So, I mean, I could try to shoot at this. I don't want to, because they have turrets which are gonna wreck me, honestly, because this is only a tier 1 ship. I mean, you can build I think they're force fields or something. Well, I know it's force fields for the base, but there's some sort of, maybe it's deflector shields, I forget what they call it, but there's some sort of shielding you can build for your ships, to help kind of, make things work better, so you don't get destroyed, you don't lose an engine or whatever while you're flying around. So that was an alien shrine. That probably has some BP enemies in it, but there's also probably good loot. So with those, what I'd suggest is make sure you have enough guns and everything like that before you try to attack them. Otherwise you will get killed, which can be annoying, because all your items, they don't get lost, they get put in a backpack, but the backpack's where you died. So if there's enemies around you, and you're trying to get your stuff, they will kill you before you can get your weapon back equipped and in order to fight them, right? So just something to keep in mind. You want to be careful on that. You could try building a sniper or rocket launcher or something like that if you're a high enough level, and then you can, take them out from afar before you go in. But if you're not careful, they will take you out. That's kind of just the way it goes. So here's another power station, is kind of what it looks like. We'll mark it just for fun. I don't know. It doesn't really matter all that much. I don't plan on attacking them, but it is good to know where their buildings are. That way, if they attack you, you can go in and retaliate if you want and destroy some of their buildings. If you take out the power stations, they aren't going to be able to build things, just like if you don't have power, you can't build things. So it's not a bad, if you're gonna wage war against one of the factions, go for the power stations. This is probably some sort of hangar. Yeah, it's a mainframe, whatever. They call things weird in this game, but that's fine. Comm array, fortification, we want to avoid. Another anti-aircraft. Alright, well, we are definitely not going that way, because that will definitely shoot us down. That's what it's designed to do. So, we're almost out of 0x territory anyway, so it should be alright. Maybe we'll find an ore deposit here, is my hope. I mean, we basically have only been finding points of interest, which is kind of annoying, but you know, that's kind of the way the game works. So you have to explore a fair amount in order to find all the resource deposits and things like that. So just buckle up. If you're playing, buckle up, because you're going to be grinding in some hours in order to progress to the end game, which is where it gets fun. I mean, the capital vessels are pretty cool. Like, you can store your hover vehicles and small vehicles on them and fly them to other planets. So basically it's like having a base that flies. It also opens up the galaxy map so you can travel between star systems. So a lot of cool stuff once you reach capital vessels. Not the easiest to get there, obviously, and it takes a lot of resources to build those kind of vehicles, but either way, that's kind of the goal, is to get a capital vessel so you can explore the galaxy. And that's our goal with this series, is to get to a capital vessel and take a look at the different star systems, because that's where the new content is, for the most, or like the major new content, I should say, is with the expanded star systems. Like, you can go to other solar systems, things like that. So there's more than just the 3 planets or whatever in your starting system that you can go to. You can go beyond that. So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at. You know, this is kind of the goals for the series. This is Talon territory, so that's fine. They're not going to attack us. These guys also sometimes have things for sale. They're kind of like the farmer culture, I guess you could say. Or that's what I'll say anyway. So there's copper there, bazaar, iron. I mean, it looks like we kind of have to mine inside their territory, is kind of what it's looking like. I don't know, maybe we'll get lucky and find something outside, but it'll take us a while to kind of cover the entire surface of the planet, which is what you ultimately should be aiming to do before you leave, just so you've marked everything and, you know, you kind of utilize where you start before you go anywhere else. The only exception to that would be to get like neodymium and cobalt. If you look at the map, there aren't any of those deposits on this planet, so we have to leave in order to get those materials. Either way, not a big deal. I mean, we're kind of just going this way. And it actually looks like we might be able to... Let's see if they have... Yeah, they do have a Pentax tank. So, I don't know if you remember from a few episodes ago when we were in the radiated fog, that little blue pillar thing, it gave us 1 Pentax. Well, Pentax is used for warp drives. So if you put Pentax in the tank, you can warp with the ship. So it looks like this ship can warp, which is actually pretty awesome, considering it was not all that expensive, relatively speaking, to build. So yeah, I mean, we could even go to another planet, another solar system right now if we wanted. We only have 1 Pentax, so it's not enough to warp anywhere really, but we are going into a radiated fog area right now, and what do you know, I see a couple crystals. Let's go take them. Oh, well, there's one at least. So we're gonna take this. I don't want to land on top of it. Land. So if you just hold C, it'll take you down to the ground. I'm gonna run over and gather this bad boy, and we're gonna get back in the ship because we don't want to die of radiation. And I might kind of scout around and see if we find another one of those crystals, because as I understand it, that's really the only way to get Pentax. Unless you find it, of course. I mean, like, if you loot some ships and things, sometimes they might have Pentax that you can take. It just depends a little bit. So, there we go. We're kinda landed. Kinda. Whatever. It's fine. Gather that up. Get back in. I just don't want to, you know, perish out here. I mean, you can spawn by your grave, I believe. However, it's best just not to die. So there's 3 of them around here. Take 1. And there's 1 out